am I not wrong to assume that it is a child at the end of the day?
Hold on. You guys are saying that it's not a child yet. But when you're a child, you're not an adult yet. And when you're a child, you're not a teenager yet.
You see,
it's stages
it's
of
stages of life at the end of the day. That's exactly what I'm saying, bro.
Hi everybody and welcome to another episode of the Waliberali Show. I'm your host today, thank you so, and we are joined by
Omar, Shakara.
Oh, Shabzi.
Kamu.
Liungo.
Thank you for tuning in today. So today we're going to talk about a really controversial topic. Many people agree with it, others don't really agree with it. So we are talking about abortion.
Overall, I think I'm against it.
I mean, I'm all for abortion. I'm pro-choice.
I think abortion shouldn't be a thing.
I'm pro-life, bro. 100% pro-life.
I agree with abortion.
I am pro-life on conditions.
So what are you guys for abortion? I'm pro-choice personally. I don't know about anyone else. Same.
I'm pro-life, guys.
I'm pro-life as well. What do you think, Omar? Can you elaborate on your whatever you...
Okay, but isn't it what is she?
Pro-life.
I think I'm pro-life, yeah. No choice. No. No choice.
Okay.
Okay, we're not coming.
I'm pro-life on conditions.
What are the conditions?
I believe that say it's an accident, right? You guys are just messing around. But you do have the funds to actually support the baby. Then I think you should, because you knew what you were doing. None of us are clueless as to what happens when two people have sex. Another condition is, I think, rape. I think if it's rape, then really it wasn't your choice at all to have the baby. So that's another condition. But otherwise, I'm pro-life.
What about like with the one night stand? And then they say the condom is still, you guys didn't realize until after.
That's still irresponsible, though.
Let me.
Yeah.
Condom.
There's nothing you can say don't have one night stand. Look, also don't have one night stand.
No,
I
no,
think
no.
we should. You see, the thing is, I think the choice should be
Another-
where the choice comes in is that we all know what we're doing. You understand?
Yeah.
Let's not be playing games with something that gives life. You know, if we all know that this thing can result in a life, so let's not do pull-out methods. Let's not do one-night stands. Let's not do all these irresponsible
I'm
things.
bad, boy.
Because then we have to go and then kill a child for your messy nights. No.
And with the condom, the condom thing, condoms don't just
Grab the mic, please.
Okay.
condoms don't just explode, bro. Like,
Okay, but no, I get your scenario though. I get your scenario. What if? But it's still irresponsible. It's still.
you using a condom in the first place is also, because condoms, they never say 100% chance of thing. Exactly. So we're all taking a chance by using a condom also.
Of
So
course.
it's the same as whether it burst or not, you still took the chance.
And if a condom bursts, the guy knew it burst. So the feeling got better.
Oh, I didn't know that.
No. But like, it's like you tapping with a rubber, right? And then when it bursts, your skin is exposed to rehearsal.
Yeah.
It feels
Yeah,
better.
yeah, you can feel the
Yeah.
difference.
But doesn't it take a lot for a condom to burst?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like it's very slim, dog. Like 1 in a million type shit.
Yeah.
Like that's what I think. But then also, do you guys even know where like Planned Parenthood, like the primary company that does abortion and stuff like that, where does it come from? Yeah, can you elaborate there?
No, you tell us.
No.
You asked that and I'm agreeing. Yes, I know. So
Okay, well, it was founded by, I actually forgot the lady's name. Then we'll put it on the description and shit like that. But she literally said that black people are human weeds and should be exterminated. You get me? Like, it's literally on Google. You can search it right now. Just I had it written and stuff like that, but I don't have the book right now.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's how Planned Parenthood really started. It was really primarily for black people, for black populated areas. And like in America as well, they've been able to keep the population at a constant ratio for a very long time, for over 50 plus years. Of course, the population is supposed to grow since, there's more children given birth than people that die.
Yeah.
So they've been able to keep the population at a constant ratio primarily because the abortion is very high. So yeah, with abortion, like that's why I say like. Also, I totally agree with what Kamo said when it comes to like to a certain extent, and I think the only thing is like perhaps rape, but other things is like no, bruv, you know what you did, like stop being let's have some accountability here, and like and having this excuse that no, it's not a child and stuff like that. Nah, man, like if it's not a child, it wouldn't have like started, like like the fact that you have to put a stop before it's even a child. It's a child, bruv. Like if you didn't let it go, it would have came about, right? But if it wouldn't, but think about it. If you did not,
When you first conceive, you start off as a bubble, and then from then on,
but that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Listen, my point is the fact that you have to put the abortion thing. That means you are killing the baby.
And nothing else is a fetus.
Exactly,
Like
bro.
fruits don't start as a fetus. It's a child. It's going into a human being.
Exactly.
We all already know. Like as a fetus, you know already.
If it's not a child yet, then why does there need to even do abortion then? You get me? Because it starts from a small point. You see it from to prevent it from becoming a child.
So it's not a child.
But it's,
you're literally contradicting yourself.
no. But my point is that the fact it's still gonna become a child at the end of the day. That's what I'm saying. It become.
So what she's saying.
Am I not wrong to say? Am I not wrong to assume the fact that? Am I not wrong to assume that it is a child at the end of the day?
Hold on. You guys are saying that it's not a child yet, but when you're a child, you're not an adult yet. Yeah. And when you're a child, you're not a teenager yet.
You see,
it's stages
of life at the end of the day. That's exactly what I'm saying, bro. Exactly what I'm saying.
But I feel like if it's in my body, I should have the choice whether I want it or not.
Well,
Yeah, no, I think.
But I'm not saying be irresponsible now and have an abortion every week. But if it's my body, I should.
Obviously,
be able
us
to make that
us
decision.
saying we're pro-life. We can't just go and tell people no, don't give abortion. It's just our opinion to say that.
No, I
in
get
my
that.
in my situation, like if perhaps my girlfriend doesn't like want to have the baby, I'll be like, nah. Of course, just give the child to me, but like I don't believe in just giving abortion. I feel like a child at the end of the day is a blessing, but it's a blessing. The fact that you get to, even if I don't want to say even if it's a rape, but to a point it's a blessing because giving birth is a blessing at the end of the day.
I get what you're saying, right? But at the end of the day, the woman still has to go through giving birth and all of those things. All the complications that can come with that.
Okay, like you said, right? It's the woman's body, so she should decide. But that's the same way it's the woman's body when she decides to go have unprotected sex. If it's her right to have that choice, it's her responsibility to like take the consequences that come with it.
At least go.
Because
But then it's also her right to have an abortion.
Okay, but listen, you guys are talking about the consequences of pregnancy, but you guys know the consequences of abortion.
We know that, of course. I understand there are consequences, long term and short term, just like a child. But at the same time, why would I want to put myself in a position which I know I do not want to do? No matter the irresponsible decisions I've made, I know that I've had unprotected sex. I know that I've had a one-night stand. I know what I did was irresponsible. I know that very well. And, obviously I knew that ultimately it would most likely lead to a pregnancy. But at the same time, it's like, I don't want to have this baby. And then if I want to bring this baby into this world and then not take care of it, it would be like you're an irresponsible mother.
Yeah, I was gonna say, would it then be responsible to bring a child into a situation?
Which I know I will not.
Yeah.
that's the condition that I spoke about. Like if you know you definitely don't love the child before it's even born, you then it's really pointless because now you gotta start thinking. You gotta stop thinking about yourself and think for the child now that's gonna be born and how that child's gonna. Yeah. So
But I also
now-
just think you could always just, even if it's rape, if it's a rape situation, you can always have the child. And there's so many people in the world who are suffering who can't have children, who would love that child. You could always give it away somewhere. Because aborting the child is the same. Okay, obviously you build a bond while pregnant and everything. But aborting the child is sort of the same thing as giving it away. It's never going to be in your life again. So give it to other people who would love to have that blessing you were talking about.
There is that condition of like forming like a mother and
So,
child.
so the goal is to try prevent that from happening. Like you guys don't want to even start the relationship. You see, the connection mustn't even be there, bro.
I know.
That's so heartless, bro.
It's just okay, for example, this is a dumb example. I know I don't like avocado. Why would I want to do something that has avocado when I know that I don't want it. And the same with the scenario she just gave with rape. As Mel said, as a pregnant person, if you really wanted that child, it's easier to create a bond and love the child. And even when the child is born, you're able to show it the love that it deserves, right? But then, if it's a child of rape, you're just going to be hating this child. And you'd be like, if you weren't here, I'd be better off in life. I mean, you even heard of cases where mothers even say to their child, you're a child of rape. I don't even know why you're here. I'm aborted. And then now this child is receiving that hate that they could have, quote unquote, avoided.
I totally agree with you. And I think, of course, we're talking from a man perspective. You know, we don't really understand the dynamics of it. I think if I was a woman, yo, bro, like, I just think, you know, everything happens for a reason. And specifically when it comes to a child, bro, I just see it as a blessing, dog, regardless of the situation. You get me? You know, bro, like, it's a blessing. It's life, bro. Like, it's life, dog. It's life. Like, it's life. At the end of the day, what's more precious than life, bro? You see, this is my perspective. Yes, I get, like, maybe perhaps I'm poor at home, or my wife is, yeah.
If you're in a situation where you could prevent an unwanted outcome, would you take that choice?
Oh, I was saying Oma's point where she said you can just give the child away, like if you've been raped or whatever. But for 9 months, you still have to carry that trauma of being raped, and you still have to give birth to this child, knowing it's just like a constant reminder of what you went through.
Yeah.
I agree.
When you can just stop that from the beginning and
Well,
not have to go through.
Stop it, but like making the healing process
Easier, yeah.
yourself.
I feel like you're gonna go through those things regardless. You understand? Like for 9 months, you're always going to carry that thing. Like every time you sleep with someone else, every time something triggers you, like a show or anything, you're forever going to have that thing. You have now been raped, right? It's just a thing. You have now been raped, and there will be consequences. A baby is just one of those consequences from rape. You don't have to now end the life of like someone else's life.
Okay, so what you're trying to say, from what I understand. You know, let me just say my experience.
Yeah.
I've been raped, for example, and this person.
I was like,
Just slide that in
my
there.
opinion.
What the fuck is that?
Whoa, you've been what? You've been what?
Okay, let's say someone.
So you haven't been raped.
All of our faces had the same
Bro.
That moment then.
I'm sorry.
That one.
Okay, let's
Hypothetically.
hypothetically, someone has been raped. Someone
Yeah,
with no
okay.
name, right?
Yeah.
Has been raped. And then
Raped
this
and no
person
name.
chose to impregnate him. So why is it that she has to live with the consequences of that rape? Why is it now on me that you must keep this child because you got raped? That's how I'm taking it. Like, I feel like,
Since it wasn't your fault that you were
why
raped,
should I keep
why
this
Rape
child?
is not a
should it be my fault to
I didn't
bear
want
the baby?
exactly. I didn't want this to happen to me. Why should I keep the baby that came from something that I don't want to happen to me?
Because technically it wasn't her choice.
Okay, but okay.
It wasn't.
So basically,
Let me say that I think most pregnancies are not a choice. Like all of them. Me personally, my parents didn't plan to have me, right? So it's not something they wanted. My mom was pregnant with me when she was 19, had me when she was 20. She didn't want it, right? So just because she didn't want it doesn't mean now she can just, you know, and everything happens for a reason.
Yeah,
like you
that's
said.
very true. That's very true.
Oma, does your mom love you?
Yes.
Look at that.
No, but listen, let me tell you something, right? You if you buy, you know, this bond that we're talking about, right? Regardless of being raped, it's also like having, like me. Let's say me and you are dating right now. We're so in love. Okay, we have a baby together. Something happens between us. Let's say you do me dirty, you cheat on me. Now I hate you. Nah? Does that mean now I must hate the child?
Some people do.
I feel like
Some people do.
The-
But I just mean that there's so many situations where you could end up hating the child.
Yes.
Question.
Yes.
So what you're saying is, even if you are raped, right?
Yeah.
God forbid,
Yeah.
if you are able to bear the child and take care of it, that's the route you should go for.
Yes.
But
And
if you're not able to, for instance, because
I think Oma's also trying to say that.
Is that what you're saying? That's the one condition that you have.
I'm not saying that abortion is. I don't think abortion is good, whatever the circumstances may be, right? But we have to be honest with each other.
Yes,
So
yeah.
many
Can't be
people
blunt,
right
yeah.
now, right, are suffering from consequences like being poor or like coming from when a woman knows that she lives with an abusive man and still carries on to have a baby with this person, and then now this child is abused or watches them get abused and then carries on to abuse. It's just a whole thing. I understand those situations, but I still do think at any given moment, abortion is just not okay.
Yeah, I think we're not trying to. Obviously, we're talking from like we can't be blunt about the situation. We can't be like, okay, nah, abortion is bad. Of course, there's different scenarios that we can't be like ignorant to all these scenarios like being poor and shit like that. But overall, I definitely agree with Omar, bro. Like abortion I don't think it's the right thing, man.
And also, I think another thing Omar said, or at least tried to say, correct me if I'm wrong, is that if let's say it is rape, right? I think if you choose to keep the child, you will develop love for that child, like a bond. As much as you were raped, the child had nothing to do with that. So you can't hate the child. It also doesn't kind of make sense.
I don't want to have an opinion on something I haven't experienced. I feel like there are certain people who genuinely dislike their children because of the situation in which their child was brought into the world.
And another point I'd like to bring up is that also abortion isn't cheap. So we always say like, no, what if you're poor and stuff? But then I feel like, bro, the decision to have an abortion, to have that money to go for the abortion, like, I feel like if we did the research, more people that are actually having abortion you'd find are the people that have the money to support a kid. So all these statements about poverty and stuff kind of get thrown out the window.
They work out.
Yeah, because you find that majority of the people having abortions are people who have money to support a child at that. And I'm not saying all, I'm saying majority, because we're generalizing.
Okay, but you do know that like some government they do give out like
Yeah, they do.
but only up until
A certain age, ne?
certain months.
Yeah.
If you're over 3 months, you have to go to the hospital and get the child taken. But at the same time, if you go to a public hospital, you don't have to pay. So I understand when you're like, abortions are expensive and all that, but there are
Some free
certain
things.
points where it's
Or
free,
free terms of.
Would you, do you think abortion is a selfish decision?
What I'll say is, having a child is a selfish decision, and having an abortion is also selfish. Having a kid is a selfish decision as well.
So they're both selfish, right?
Because a kid doesn't have a say in it. Like, it's kind of like a bit of a paradox, because the kid's not born to have the decision. But every reason anyone has to have a child is for themselves. It's for their own reason. So that's why it's it's a self. So that's why it's a self.
Okay, I get that point, and I get the abortion one is also
100% self.
100% selfish.
Do you guys
And
think?
the question is that if let's say put yourself in like the motherly role, right? As a person who's bearing the kid, or if like based what do you call it? Going back to that question that I asked you, what do you call it? What did I fucking say? What did I say, Carl?
That's what you thought.
Let me just clarify something to why you try to remember.
Yeah.
I said 100%, but I need to mention that if you know that like you like you're busy with other stuff in your life and you're 100% sure that you are not gonna give the time of day to this baby, and you're like 100% like you hate like really, then I don't think it's 100% selfish, because you're kind of thinking for the baby now that I don't have the love, and I'm not currently in a place for like a baby right now. Then that's kind of like not as selfish, because you are thinking for the baby.
I think as well, like life is. Yeah, that's exactly. Life is all about compromises, bro. Like,
That's also selfish.
you see, life is all about
I feel
compromises.
like the main problem here is our society.
Yeah,
at
in the whole,
moment.
yeah.
Because back in the day, it just made sense that if you're having sex, it's for a baby.
It's for a baby.
We know
bro.
that.
It's for
so
a
now
baby.
we've made like sex such a daily need and everything. That,
Pleasure and all
you know
that
what I mean?
shit.
So the problem is what we are right now. Because if we were back in that stage, every single pregnancy that you're having is going into, like you are in a family, so you are ready for that.
And I think also that's why like olden day families, or even like I guess our parents or grandparents, high chances that they would advise against an abortion, because back in their time, I think abortion was something that was like shunned upon because why are you having sex? First of all, with someone you're not ready to have a baby. Because like almost said, like majority of kids are not born like it's a thing of I'm with someone I love. If it happens that we have a baby, we can keep it. That's literally how majority of babies are born.
Yeah.
So now, now I forgot what I was saying. What is my? Yeah. So parents would advise against it. That's why, like, normally it's a thing of, oh, two people together, they didn't love each other as much. They have the baby, and then the husband will pay damages to the wife's family. That's how I know it works with like black people.
Yeah.
The thing of the wife will pay damages to the parents because the husband gave the wife a child. They were not married, and
Yeah.
Yeah, like it's very true to say like majority of the kids are not planned, bro. And like I just feel like in life in general, life is all about compromises. I think when it comes to having a baby, it's probably the biggest compromise. Like it's probably the most worrying thing you should have. I think it's something that we do have to go through, like something that, you know, people do have to go through, and like it's life, you know, it's life. Life is all about compromises, and it really depends on how big the compromise is. But when it comes to a baby, this is a very big one, but at the end of the day, it's still a compromise, you know. Majority of the kids are not really planned, and that just specifically tells you that, you know, you gotta just make a plan, dog. I know it's easy for me to say and shit like that, but you have to make a plan, dog.
Would you, if you had a baby now, you
Of
made
course.
a girl pregnant, would you keep it?
Yeah. Like, bro, even if she says I don't abort it, like, no, hey, just please 9 months, give birth, give me the child, bro. Like, I swear, bro. Like, I feel like
And if you were in the girl's position,
I do this, like, I do the same, bro. Like, I honestly think it's very easy for me to say, but I
because your life
definitely
is not on.
exactly. That's what I'm saying. But
As a female, it is.
It's on pause.
no, not
It's on pause.
As compared to a man. Okay.
Microphone.
Compared to a man.
That's basically the comparison I'm
Okay, compared to a man, definitely there are differences.
slow
right?
down and
But
overall.
Okay, the reason why I'm saying this is that, like you said, it is easier for us to say, don't abort.
Yeah.
Pro-
Yeah.
So and so. Right?
Yeah.
But it's those little differences that we think don't matter.
Yeah.
Like those, yes, it's on pause, but only for like the later on stages of pregnancy. You know, because I mean, in the beginning stages of pregnancy,
You still have
it
time
doesn't
to move
really
around, yeah.
But once there's that bump and it's huge, those differences, like you can't operate the way you used to. So it's on pause for that.
Another
Do you know that
thing.
men also have those, like there are situations where men have the what are these things called? Symptoms? Yeah, of pregnancy. Like a lot of men, a lot of men will be sick when their woman is pregnant, and that's how
Another
they
thing
know.
where-
I believe it's.
Another-
I believe. Oh, sorry.
I'm saying another thing I wanted to mention is that as much as men, it's easier for us to say pro-life and that. I think it's important to emphasize that a lot of men also don't take the accountability. So
That's why
it'd be a
men-
thing. It'd be a thing of okay.
This guy actually support the baby.
Yeah, like let's say the lady, like a lot of times I feel like the lady will, if the lady wants to keep the baby, the man won't want to support the baby. And there's this thing also that like where it's like if the man wants to have an abortion and the woman doesn't want to keep the baby, then the man is not obligated to take care of the child.
That's where the
Which I
double
don't think
standard comes.
which I don't think is right, because as a man it was also your decision to have unprotected sex.
Yeah.
It because
When is he
a
not
child.
obligated? Sorry, I didn't catch that.
Actually, apparently, men have no decision when a girl has an abortion.
No. Doesn't have decision for the abortion. But
abortion.
if she decides to keep the baby,
He has
he doesn't
choice.
have
Yeah, he has
to.
no choice. He has no choice but to support the baby. Basically, so to say,
he shouldn't have a choice.
He shouldn't have a
Yeah.
choice but to support the baby. So if it listen, if it happened vice versa. So for example, if the woman decides to have a baby, to keep the baby, and the guy doesn't, he has no choice but to support the baby. I have no choice. But when it happens vice versa,
No. I'm saying no. It can't happen vice versa.
Yeah.
Man, I'm saying right. In this day and age, there's and I think in some countries
that a
it's
law?
I think yes, in some
Okay.
countries it's a law where if the woman decides to keep the baby, the man doesn't have to support the baby.
If he wanted an abortion.
If he wanted an
Oh,
abortion,
okay.
yes,
You know
which
why?
I think is wrong, because as a man, sex, like a baby
end
is
of the
born,
day, it's your child,
a baby is
dog.
born from two people. A woman doesn't make the baby alone. So as a man, you need to take that responsibility.
Most definitely.
Even though you
But-
don't have
Like
the
for
ability
example,
to
myself,
care for it.
if I got a girl pregnant and I said I want an abortion, right, which would be a selfish decision. I wouldn't want to lie. It would be a selfish decision for myself. But
We established
if
that it's a selfish
if
decision regardless.
Both sides.
Yeah.
if the woman says she wants to keep it, I feel like I am obligated to care for that child, even if I wanted the abortion. I made the irresponsible decision of having unprotected sex or having sex in general.
Okay, so you
This-
think
this is
it's
also-
wrong-
this is-
wait,
this-
hold on, hold on.
okay.
So you think it's wrong that that guys aren't supposed, well, can have the choice not to support the baby?
Yeah.
I think
You
it's
think
wrong,
that's
100%.
wrong?
That's looking at it from a
You also think
masculine.
It's wrong that the girl has pro-choice. So you think that if the girl wants the baby and the guy doesn't, like she can.
I think-
No. If the girl
Doesn't want the baby.
want it and the guy does, and she still carries on to have an abortion, is that wrong? You also think?
No, I think what Kamo is trying to say is that from a masculine perspective, just a masculine perspective, irregardless.
Neo, listen, Neo was saying if okay, let's say now I got the girl pregnant, I want to keep the baby, she doesn't
But
want
she
to keep the
doesn't.
baby.
Does she think that? But yes, her going ahead and having abortion, is that wrong?
Yeah, it's wrong.
Why?
No, it's not wrong because at
It's
the end
not.
of the day, no. Listen, I said so because now we're basically just going to the question of is abortion wrong in general? Because at the end of the day,
Both sides.
when shit hits the fan, bro, it's her choice because it's her body.
Exactly that.
But it's still, I think morally, it's wrong in general.
Yeah, morally so.
Whether the guy wants to keep it or whether the girl wants to keep it or whether who wants to keep it, it's morally wrong is what I'm trying to say. But if like your scenario, it's not even it's a thing of I don't have a choice anyway. It's her body.
She's
like
the one
if-
carrying the
But then in
child
the
for 9
scenario where you
months.
do have a choice, you still feel like it's wrong.
And that's what I'm saying. That's his from
Okay, that's how he's.
from the masculine perspective.
Okay.
That's from a masculine perspective. It's like no, irregardless, it's your child. Take care of the baby. Yeah.
You know, this whole thing about like it's a woman's choice because it's a woman's body, right? I just feel like as women, we need to be more responsible with our bodies, right?
100%.
Because everybody always says it takes two to make a baby and everything, right? But we all know that it can be a double standard or whatever, but it's a fact, okay? We all know that a man can leave at any moment, right?
100%.
We don't. We carry the baby, and then the baby is a part of us, right? It's just what we are nurturers. That's what we are meant to be, and that's how we are. So, when you are getting into bed with a man, you need to make absolute sure that you have covered all angles,
Yeah.
right? If you don't want a baby with this man, make sure it doesn't
Yeah.
have anything. It's not his choice for condom. Doesn't have anything if he wants to put a condom on, because you have then consequences.
You are gonna suffer those consequences
Exactly.
way more than
you
he
guys
will.
are
Whether
the
you keep the
gateways.
baby
You guys are the gateways of
or
the
not,
community.
the 9 months you keep the baby, you have your consequences. You have stretch marks, you get fat, you have emotional things. After that, PTSD, all of those things. When you have an abortion, PTSD, depression, all of these things. When you take contraceptives, PTSD, all of these things.
Tell 'em.
So women just have to be responsible
Responsible in
for their bodies.
general.
Men really, I don't want to say should have nothing to do with it, but really should have nothing to do with
Because at the end of the day, like I feel like you guys are the gateways. But you guys say yes, let's
Yeah.
have sex. Like you guys have the day, and unfortunately, not unfortunately per se, but like you guys are the way you are, man. Like you guys are just meant to like take care of the baby. Like
Yeah.
it's the consequence.
And to elaborate on Leongo's point, like you said, you guys are like the gateways. Like you make basically the final decision into whether you're gonna let this man have access to you like that. So, like Omar said, a lot of women need to take more responsibility, because if you decide to sleep with the man and you know you're not trying to have a baby with him, you better make sure you have a plan B. You're on birth control. You got bro.
I understand all of that, right? But say you take all those precautions and whatever, and a mistake still happens. Why must I be stuck with a child?
No.
Even though I did everything in my power to
Okay,
not have this baby.
but listen, Shakara, that's a like a 1% scenario. We're generalizing
What
here.
if I am a point that wants
Yeah, but it's general.
Unlucky, bro.
Remember, thank you. So remember, you made the example about avocados. Like, why would you? I don't really remember what you said. Okay, right. But would you go to an avocado
avocado fish.
specialized
Fest, yeah.
Restaurant.
Would you go to an avocado? Why are you at
Would
the
you go to a
avocado fest?
Mexican restaurant where they sell guacamole?
Yeah.
And then, hey, you can. Okay,
No,
let's
no,
just.
no.
But would you go like?
Okay, thank
Me,
you. Sir.
I don't want a baby. So this is how it should be.
Guys bring babies.
I-
Don't go there at all.
I don't want the result. I don't want the consequence of having a baby. I don't want it. Right now, I'm telling you right now, I don't want it. So what I should do is stay
Stay
away
for men.
from sex.
Okay.
Do you understand?
Okay.
Yeah, wrap it up. Yeah.
Okay, it's okay. So I guess that we won't really have a conclusion.
Moral of the story: the 7 B's. Books before boys, because boys bring babies.
Fine.
Stay away from boys. Except for me though, y'all stay safe though.
Me as well. Yeah, wrap it up. Yeah.
Did you say you mustn't stay away from boys?
No. Wrap it up. Yeah, just wrap
Don't
it.
stay away from me.
Get to it.
I'm fine.
Thank you guys for watching this episode. Do let us know what you think. But I want to know, are you guys still pro-choice?
No, answer that. Answer. No, don't worry. We'll discuss it.
Okay, so yeah, thank you for watching, guys. Let us know what you think in the comments. And yeah, catch us on the next episode of the Waliberali Show.
Wait, guys, we didn't give a round of applause for Omar. This is the first time
thank
on
you.
the show.
And Shakara actually. And Shakara. Guys, welcome to the podcast. Special guests and stuff. Hope to see you guys regularly.
Yeah. Okay, stop.
My views are still the same.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, most definitely.
Yeah, exactly the same.
I mean, I did clearly state that to a certain point, but overall, yeah, I think I'm pro-life.
Are your views still the same as how you felt before the conversation, or have they adjusted?
I think they're very mostly similar, the same thing. Like I said, abortion I think is not okay. Rape is a condition, and if, of course, the finances, now it's a thing of, if the reason is big enough that the child's life will not be very good and all, then of course don't have the child. But if you're just being very selfish, then I think it's morally wrong.
I can't say they're ignorant or I really have nothing to say about it.
A lot of the opinions are just based on selfishness also.
Well, I agree with all the aspects. That's why I said to some certain extent.
Everyone had good points. Everyone has their own opinions. I respect them, but I still stand by mine. I feel like they were all valid, but nothing strong enough to change my opinion.
I did hear what the other pro-choice people had to say. As much as I was pro-life, it seemed like on the episode I was more pro-choice, which isn't the case. I was actually just trying to challenge the perspective of pro-life.
Everybody has their different views from their own different perspectives, and I feel like certain people have gone through certain things in order to have this type of ideology towards abortion. So, I mean, I'm cool with it, just don't enforce it onto me.
I 100% do understand where the people who are pro-choice are coming from. I do get it. Yeah.
The decision is always selfish at the end of the day. Even if no matter your life will be if let's say you think about yourself and you're thinking I can't raise this child because I had there's so much things I want to do in my life. That's a selfish choice. Because now you're making this about you. It's not about you. It's about the kid.